Hey, I wanted to bring you a devotional thought today, so I'm going to read from Isaiah 61. It says, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. He sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and to provide for those who grieve in Zion." And this is the part I want you to listen to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting for the Lord, for the display of his splendor. So I wanted to focus for just a second on the part that says, a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Some translations call it a spirit of heaviness. I know that you know, no matter where you are working today from home or in your office, or whether you just dropped your kids off at school, that there is a palpable sense of heaviness in our culture right now. And I wanted to remind you this morning of the work that Jesus came to do. This is from Isaiah 61, but Jesus later in Luke 4 says that these words were written about him. He came to do these things. He came to give us beauty for ashes, which we've heard a lot if you've grown up in church, and joy instead of mourning. But today specifically, I wanted to remind you that he cloaks us in praise instead of having a spirit of heaviness or despair. So I want you to think about it this way. If you could take something that was old and broken and worn out and not working for you to a store and exchange it for something for free that was new, that was tailor-made for you, you would do it, right? I mean, if Target had some sort of crazy program, then you could bring, your old bed sheets and get a whole fresh new set, you would do it if it was free. Well, this is kind of the exchange that Christ offers us in his presence. So as a worship pastor, I always try to bring things around to worship, and not necessarily in the sense that we're singing or praising in the way that we do on a Sunday morning, or maybe you do in your car or at home, but in the way of what is your mind dwelling on during the day. And today, I just encourage you to take whatever that heaviness is, whatever those thoughts that you just can't quite seem to kick. I encourage you to take them into the presence of God. Whether that's, you could definitely sing, but whether that's through prayer or just being honest with the Lord and saying, "Hey God, this is burdening my heart. And I know in your word, the truth that you say about yourself is that you want to give me joy for mourning, and you will exchange my spirit of heaviness for a garment of praise." So my encouragement to you today is to take it into God's presence. Maybe even read the scripture from Isaiah 61 over yourself and your life. And I hope that God will just refresh your mind and give you a great perspective for today.